Now, joining me now is Sarah Ryan-Purcell from Blackrock, who has just been awarded the Gold Gaisce Medal by none other than President Michael D. Higgins, and this was awarded at a special event at Áras an Uachtaráin. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, Fiona. How are you doing?
I'm very well. What was it like to meet the President up in the Áras?
It was surreal, to say the least, I must say. Meeting the President and indeed his dogs.
The dogs are so
we
famous now.
We had to get the photo opportunity.
Did you get a photo with the dogs?
Mishnock.
Did you get a photo?
Indeed, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Fabulous. So tell us, Sarah, the Gold Gaisce Award. I mean, I was reading through what you had to do to achieve this award, and I'm actually tired just reading it. You certainly don't have productivity paralysis, that's for sure. Just run through some of the things that you had to do.
Yeah, so Gaisce is the President's Award, and it's a personal development programme for young people aged 14 to 25. And what was involved in it really was 52 weeks of physical recreation. So I did tennis coaching for that, and then 52 weeks of a personal skill, which for me was piano playing, and then 52 weeks of community involvement, which for me again was singing at my local church every Sunday, and then a further 26 weeks of one of those three. You could pick which one. I've actually kept going with all three, so I probably fulfilled the criteria for that. And then there was a residential project, which I thoroughly enjoyed, which involved me going over to California for an 8-week internship. The requirement really is 4 days in an unfamiliar location with unfamiliar people, new people and new encounters and new experiences. And then finally the adventure challenge was a challenge, to say the least. It was a 4-day hike, minimum 80 kilometres for walking, or you could do a cycle too. You could kind of make it your own. And you did that along the Ballyhora Way? Yes, it was incredible. I really enjoyed it. You could get all the maps online. It's a section of the Beara Brefna Way. So it goes throughout the country, but we did the section from St. John's Bridge in Cork all the way to Tipperary town. Not for the faint-hearted, I must say. Yeah. there was our day 2 was 30 kilometres over the Ballyhowra Mountains, and there were a few close calls and would you have situations along that way. Would you have done hikes before? Like, would you be familiar with the Ballyhowra Way before you embarked on this journey? So none of us had done the Ballyhowra Way itself before, but we were all fairly active people and really up for the challenge, but we didn't quite realise what a challenge we were setting ourselves up for. But I actually went with a few students. We're all in the same college course, and we hadn't met each other before, so not only were we in a new place, we were with new people too, so it was quite an experience. And tell me, you went over to the University of California, Santa Cruz. That must have been an amazing experience. Yeah, it was incredible. I keep saying to people, like, I came back a changed woman, having been there with like-minded students. So it was a university program for science internships, and there were 120 students all together. We were all aged between kind of 16, 18 years, and I did mine in the psychology lab, where we were looking at child-robot interactions and whether young children think robots are living things. So that was the internship hours, and we, conducted experiments, conducted research, kind of read literature reviews, whatnot. But then after the internship was when the real fun began. We'd play sports together. We'd go on kind of day trips, or especially at the weekend, we'd make a trip maybe to San Francisco or to the Bay, and then just playing cards then into the evening, just making friends really and making memories. And this really enjoyable. The study that you did on whether or not children perceive robots as living things, like what kind of findings did you get from that? They do. Especially, well, as it was kind of, it really tied in with our hypothesis. They think they're living things, especially if they're younger students, or if they see, like we used a robot that had kind of a face and had facial expressions. So they especially attribute living feelings to that robot. But they think, he has his breakfast in the morning and he goes about his day. And that the level of autonomy too. I suppose in one sense you could say they're predicting the future because robots will be more autonomous. But I continued that project then from California and I brought it to Cork, and I did a similar study among nearly 400 students in Cork City. And then I went to BT Young Scientists with that in 2020, just before the pandemic hit.
And well, that sounds brilliant, and best of luck. Like, what's the future hold for you now? I mean, like, the world is literally your oyster. You could be doing anything.
That's it. I'm kind of keeping all of my options open. As I said, I'm continuing with all the areas of the Gaisce Awards, and also actually I hope to stay involved with Gaisce. I know they're launching a new initiative this week, the Gaisce Golden Voices community. So they're asking Gold Awardees to get in touch with them because they'd like to kind of touch base and form a network of Gold Awardees so that we can encourage more people to take part in the Gaisce journey and just along their journey of self-development. So I'll be going back to Mary I now reinvigorated and ready to help the next cohort achieve the gold, or even just begin the step along self-development and community involvement and active citizenship. So
well, you're a great role model. So listen, Sarah, best of luck with that. It's amazing what you've done, and good luck for the future, and thanks for talking to me on the Opinion Line this morning. That was Sarah Ryan-Purcell from Blackrock here in Cork.